Hello aspirants, a very warm welcome to the YouTube channel of Analyst IAS. So in today's bridge series, we are discussing the economy MCQs of the prelims 2016. Total number of questions which came were 20. The basic idea of the bridge series to give you an overview that UPSC आपसे किस टाइप के क्वेश्चन पूछता है. So we will be discussing questions from 2015 to 22 and we have discussed the 15 yesterday. Today is for the 2016 MCQs of economics. This is the last subject which we are covering in this bridge series. Question 1. The term core banking solutions is sometimes seen in the news. Which of the following statements describe or describes this term? It is a networking of bankers' branches that enables customers to operate their accounts from any branch of the bank on its network regardless of where they open their accounts. It is an effort to increase RBI's control over the commercial banks through computerization. It is a detailed procedure by which a bank with huge non-performing assets is taken over by another bank. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So correct answer to this is A is your correct answer. Statement first. Core banking solution is networking of branches which enable customers to operate their accounts and avail banking services from any branch on the bank CBS network regardless of where he maintains his account. So first is correct and these two statements are absurd. Statement first is correct. For example, TREDS is the platform for security regulation. It is used for share market and core banking solutions is used for banking. Second question, with reference to pre-packaged items in India, it is mandatory to the manufacturer to put which of the following information on the main label as per the food safety standards packaging labeling regulation of 2011. List of ingredients including additives, nutritional information, recommendations if any made by the medical profession about the possibility of any allergic reactions, vegetarian, non-vegetarian. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is C is your correct answer. So if you have seen any food packet, अगर आपने कोई भी food packet, chips, biscuits or anything, अगर आपने बहुत उसको closely देखा होगा, so there are list of the ingredients there. There is nutrition information as well, and there is a small sign like this for the non-veg and the veg. This red one is for the non-veg, and then there is the green for the vegetarian. So these three are there. There is no option for all of the above. So ये भी कहीं कहीं हो सकता है, but this is very absurd. So correct answer is C. Question third. India's ranking in the ease of doing business index is sometimes seen in the news. Which of the following has declared that ranking? Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, World Economic Forum, World Bank, World Trade Organization. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So this ease of doing business index, it is released by the World Bank. This is released by the World Bank annually. The indicator measures the performance of the countries across 10 different dimensions in a 12-month period. So question 4. What are the purpose or purposes of marginal cost of funds based lending rates (MCLR) announced by the RBI? These guidelines help improve the transparency in the methodology followed by banks for determining the interest rates on advances. These guidelines help ensure availability of bank credit at the interest rates which are fair to the borrowers as well as the banks. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Pause the video, try to attempt it. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is C is your correct answer. Both the given statements are correct. To ensure the better transmission and transparency of the rates, the RBI introduced this MCLR framework under which the banks have to calculate their cost of funds based on the latest rates offered on deposit on or the borrowings. This will also ensure that the changes in the deposit rates were immediately reflected on the bank's cost of funds. Apart from helping improve the transmission of policy rates into the lending rates of the banks, these measures are expected to improve transparency in the methodology followed by the banks for determining the interest rates on the advances. And these guidelines are also expected to ensure availability of bank credit at interest rates which are fair to the borrowers as well as the banks. So statement 3 is correct. Both the statements are correct. Question 5. With reference to the Financial Stability and Development Council, consider the following statements. It is an organ of the Niti Aayog. It is headed by the Union Finance Minister. It monitors macroprudential supervision of the economy. Which of the statements given above is are correct? Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is C is your correct answer, which is 2 and 3 both are correct. This works under the chairmanship of Union Finance Minister and was set up by the government as an apex forum much before the Niti Aayog was even set up. So it was set up in the 2010. So first is incorrect and the rest of the statements are correct about this. The term basic erosion and profit sharing shifting is sometimes seen in the news in the context of mining operation by multinational companies in resource rich but backward areas, curbing of tax evasion by multinational companies, exploitation of genetic resources of a country by multinational companies, lack of consideration of environmental cost in the planning and the implementation of development projects. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is B is your correct answer. Base erosion and profit sharing, it reflects to the tax avoidance strategies that exploit gaps and mismatches in the tax rules to artificially shift profits to low or no tax locations. Question 7. Recently, India's first national investment and manufacturing zone was proposed to be set up in Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra or Uttar Pradesh. Pause the video, try to attempt. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is Andhra Pradesh. This was from the current related news. Question 8. With reference to the Bitcoin sometimes seen in the news, which of the following statements are correct? Bitcoins are tracked by the central banks of the countries. Anyone with a Bitcoin address can send and receive Bitcoins from anyone else with a Bitcoin address. Online payments can be sent without either side knowing the identity of the other. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is B is your correct answer. Statement first is wrong and the rest of the these are tracked by the central banks. No, these are not tracked. This is the potential threat of the Bitcoins. Statement second is correct. Question 9. What are the purposes of the government's sovereign gold bond and gold monetization scheme to bring the idle gold lying with the Indian houses into the economy, to promote the FDI and the gold and jewelry sector, to reduce India's dependence on the gold imports? Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is C is your correct answer, which is 1 and 3. The purpose of the sovereign gold bond scheme is to reduce the India's gold imports and bring all the gold lying idle with the individuals and households in Indian economy. FDI is not a purpose in this, so all options involving 2 you can eliminate it and 1 and 3 are correct. Question 10. Global Financial Stability Report is prepared by the European Central Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So correct answer to this is IMF. This is prepared by IMF, GFSR, World Economic Outlook. Question 11. The term Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership often appears in the news in the context of affairs of a group of the countries which are known as G20, ASEAN, SCO or the SAARC. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is B is your correct answer. It was from the simple current affairs, and the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership RCEP agreed among the ASEAN plus 6 free trade agreement partners, which were Australia, China, India, Japan, South Korea and the New Zealand. Question 12. On which of the following can you find the Bureau of Energy Efficiency star label? Ceiling fans, electric geysers, tubular fluorescent lamps. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is D is your correct answer. So if you all must have seen these ceiling fan, the boxes of the ceiling fans, LED lamps के जो tubular LED lamps होते हैं, moreover simple LED lamps भी होते हैं, उनका भी होता है. Electric geysers, they all have these energy efficiency star labels. Fridges, ACs, they all have. Question 13. European Stability Mechanism, sometimes seen in the news, is an agency created by the European Union to deal with the impact of the million of refugees arriving from the Middle East. Agency of EU that provides financial assistance to the Eurozone countries. Agency of EU to deal with all bilateral multilateral agreements on the trade. Agency of EU to deal with conflicts arising among the member countries. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So correct answer to this is B is your correct answer. It provides financial assistance in the form of loans to Eurozone countries, the countries which are in the Europe zone, or as the new capital to banks which are in difficulty in that zone. 14. There has been a persistent deficit budget year after year. Which action or actions of the following can be taken by the government to reduce the deficit? Reducing revenue expenditure, introducing new welfare schemes, rationalizing subsidies, reducing import duty. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So correct answer to this goes to C is your correct answer. Statement 2 and 4 both are wrong. So this is what it is. It does not introduce the new welfare schemes because इसमें और ज़्यादा पैसा जाएगा. It will not reduce, it will increase the deficit further. Then reducing import duty, no, it will also not do this. सब्सिडी को रेशनलाइज किया जाएगा, काटा जाएगा, एंड मोर ओवर रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर को कम किया जाएगा. दिस इज हाउ गवर्नमेंट विल सेव मनी. सो क्वेश्चन 15. द एस्टैब्लिशमेंट ऑफ पेमेंट banks is being allowed in India to promote financial inclusion. Which of the following statements are correct in this context? Mobile phone companies and supermarket chains that are owned and controlled by the residents are eligible to be promoters of the payment banks. Payment banks can issue both credit cards and debit cards. Payment banks cannot undertake lending activities. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So, your correct answer to this, you can answer it by elimination. Second is wrong. For example, you can take example of the Paytm payment banks. So they are from the mobile telephone companies and supermarket chains and promoter of these. So statement first is correct. Statement third, they cannot take the lending activities. This is also correct. So statement 1, 3 are correct. Second is wrong because these payment banks, as per the RBI guidelines, they can accept demand deposits. They can issue ATM or debit cards, but they cannot issue the credit card to you. They cannot lend money hence. So your correct answer to this is B. Question 16. With reference to the IFC masala bonds sometimes seen in the news, which of the statement given is are correct? The International Finance Corporation, which offers these bonds, is an arm of the World Bank. These are rupee denominated bonds and are a source of debt financing for public and private sector. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So correct answer to this is C is your correct answer. Both statements are correct. ये रुपी डोमिनेटेड बॉन्ड्स होते हैं, जैसे पांडा बॉन्ड्स चाइना के जो करेंसी उसके डोमिनेटेड होंगे, देन महाराजा बॉन्ड्स वगैरह होते हैं. सो दीज आर डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ बॉन्ड्स. Question 17. Which of the following are included in the capital budget of the government of India? Expenditure on acquisition of assets like the roads, building machinery, etc. Loans received from foreign governments. Loans and advances granted to the states and union territories. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Now let's see the answer. So the correct answer to this is D is your correct answer, which is all of the statements are correct as all these are included in capital budget of government of India. This capital budget is an account of the assets as well as the liabilities of the central government, which takes into consideration changes in the capital, both expenditure and receipt as well. Main items of the capital receipts are loans which are raised by the government from public and which are called market borrowings, borrowings from the government from Reserve Bank, commercial banks, other financial institutions through sale of treasury bills, loans received from the foreign governments, international organizations and all. So statement second was correct. And capital expenditure includes expenditure on acquisition of land, building, machinery, equipment, investment in the share, loans, advances by the central government to state and union governments, public sector units and other parties. So your all three statements are correct. Recently, which one of the following currencies has been proposed to be added to basket of IMF's SDR? Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So it is a current based question. So your correct answer to this is renminbi. So recently this included China's renminbi, yuan or this into the elite reserve currency basket, mainly used as international reserve asset with an effect of 1st October 2016. Question 19 says, with reference to the International Monetary and Financial Committees, consider the following statements. IMFSC discusses matters of concern affecting the global economy and advises the International Monetary Fund on direction of its work. The World Population participates the World Bank participates as an observer in IMFC's meetings. which of the statements given is are correct. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is C is your correct answer, as both the statements given about this IMFC are correct. Last question of today's session, which of the following best describes the term import cover, which was seen in the news that year? It is the ratio of value of imports to the gross domestic product of a country. It is the total value of imports of a country in a year. It is the ratio between value of exports and that of imports between two countries. It is the number of months of imports that could be paid for by a country's international reserves. Pause the video, try to answer. Now let's see the answer. So your correct answer to this is D is your correct answer. Import cover is the number of months of the import that could be covered for by a country's international reserves, and import cover is an important indicator of stability of a currency. So this was all about today's video and session. Thank you. Have a nice day and stay tuned with